Okay, the set has arrived in part, and we've sort of semi got the whiteboard ready. We haven't got the laptop stand, so I'm resting it on a nice stable stack of books because I'm a bodge king. Now, I've written all the information down. There's a lot to take in here. We're going to focus on the history of the Melbourne Storm, a brief history. It's a brief overview. I'm not going to go too in depth because some of the issues I raise are far too complex for this little board to handle. But they're founded in '97, given their operating licence up here. This is during the end of the Super League Wars, when Rupert Murdoch and News Corp and the Australian Rugby League have been at loggerheads for a couple of years, and they formed rival leagues. They entered the NRL in 1998. It's sort of like a peacemaking overture to form this team. Anyway, in the 21 years and 20 seasons they've competed, they have 3 NRL premierships. They have 99 in their second year of existence, which is just insanity. 2012 and 2017, with Cronk, Slater and Smith being crucial to these two, here and here. And these 3 guys are just amazing players. I like Cooper Cronk especially. Brilliant dummy half. Brilliant in the halves as a halfback. Cooper Cronk, for me, one of my favourite players. He's now playing at the Sydney Roosters for this season, but he's instrumental in those 2 premiership wins. However, there is a downside to the Melbourne Storm, which has also happened a lot in the NRL and its history since 1998, and that is the massive salary cap breach that was uncovered in 2010. It's a very complex issue that involves some players having secret second contracts, and other players being aware of salary cap breaches and hidden payments and not reporting the issue as well. It goes on for 4 years. So, let's have a look at what they were stripped of. This is the punishment they received. They were stripped of their premiership titles in 2007 and 2009. They were also stripped of their minor premierships in 2006, 2007, 2008. And they're stripped of their World Club Challenge win of 2010, which I watched. Yeah, it was on British TV. I watched that. That was probably one of the best matches I've ever seen. The 2010 World Club Challenge. And they're stripped of that as well. This is not the only salary cap breach, but it is the most famous salary cap breach. Now, the NRL, these guys, have been going for the same amount of time as the Melbourne Storm. However, there's been some major salary cap breaches. I'm going to go away from just Melbourne here and look at 3 other teams. Canterbury Bulldogs had a salary cap breach before Melbourne did, and it wasn't as bad, but it was still serious, and they were also stripped of titles and points. Parramatta Eels had one, and they were stripped of points they had earned up to that point in the season, but they were badly managed. They were being mismanaged for quite some time, and now they've got Jared Haynes, so are they breaching the cap again? Parramatta's one, I think, was badly handled by the league, and I felt sorry for the players on the pitch, and I felt sorry for the fans of Parramatta. And the Manly Seagulls are currently under investigation for a salary cap breach that is very similar to Parramatta, deliberately overpaying players, possibly second contracts, similar to Melbourne Storm, but it's very similar to Parramatta as well. Poor off-field financial management. Right, okay. However, that's just in the NRL. In the AFL, the rival league, the Aussie Rules, Carlton FC have also had a salary cap breach they have never also recovered from. They have struggled consistently since they were found to have been breached the salary cap, and they have struggled, and they haven't really retained the heights of success they had pre. But Melbourne Storm have. These last 2 titles were redemption for these players. Smith and Slater are strongly linked to the salary cap breach, especially Cameron Smith with a second contract. It's in public domain. They are future immortals, but that may count against them when it comes to that stage post retirement. But this period here is their most successful period, and it happens during the salary cap breach, which raises questions about if they were complying with the cap, would they have been so successful? If you put those titles back in and you take away the salary cap breach and you say it didn't happen, and let's say there wasn't a salary cap, they would be the most successful side in NRL history. They won the minor premiership in 2017 as well. They had 2 titles last year. If the salary cap is not there and it's a capless league, they would have won 2 major premierships, 3 minors, and the World Club Challenge in a 4-year period. They would have been the most successful team in NRL history. And they are still the most consistent team in NRL history, even when they were stripped and were forced to play for no points. Had they played for points, they would have still been in the finals football. That's how insane this period of time is and how insane their squad has been. Slater and Smith are still integral to the squad. They're part of the leadership group. Cooper Cronk has now gone to a Sydney rival. He's gone to the Sydney Roosters. They have some good depth. They always have good depth, and they're currently sitting, I believe, second in the NRL table. So again, back at the top, competing to repeat, which is exceptionally hard. But they did do it in the minor premiership 3 years in a row. To win back-to-back titles in any league is not impossible, but it's bloody difficult. And even though they were stripped of these, they won them 3 years in a row, which is insane. Absolutely, I'm sweating like a pig. It's about 32 degrees here, and for lighting purposes, I've had to shut the curtains, and I'm really regretting that. And it's damn near killing me. I don't know what you feel like around the world, but I am hot. But you've got to look at everything. You've got to feel sorry for the fans in this period, their most successful period, and they have all that taken away. The issues with the salary cap is it's designed to have a draft, and the NRL doesn't have a draft. It just has reserve grade, second grade, etc. And they have local teams. They normally find talent that way. Very similar to European football and European rugby in the sense that there is no draft. There's academy systems and youth teams that go through the main club. But the NRL salary cap is actually designed for like an NHL, NFL style draft, and that's one of the reasons why breaches happen. It's a flawed system. These other breaches we could discuss in a salary cap breach video. I'm open to that. I also want to hear from Melbourne fans what they feel about this period in time. Obviously, they've been there from the beginning, and a lot of success regardless of the salary cap breach. 3 grand final wins is hard to do, and they've played in more grand finals and lost a few. They lost in 2016, they were runners-up. So they've been consistent for several years now at the top between 2012 and now. They're the most consistent team anyway. But what do fans feel about this period? Because I feel sorry for the fans having had all that success and enjoying watching their team play some really attractive rugby league and to have it all taken away. What do they feel? Because it's still happening now. It still happens. They've learnt nothing from Canterbury, nothing from Melbourne, nothing from Parramatta, and now Manly are doing it. Eventually, all the teams will probably have a severe salary cap breach at some point in the next 10, 20 years. And it's embarrassing. But while the system is so weak, it's going to be open to abuse. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below, especially on the salary cap breach, because it's a very complex situation that actually has a lot of financial implications and a lot of hidden payments and a police investigation involved in this whole salary cap breach, and that is really deep. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.